to the Alumni Couch. It is so good to have you here.
Awesome. So, Yama Dumrun. So, my name's Matilda. I'm a 22-year-old proud Wiradjuri woman, and I'm studying in my final year of my Masters at Western Sydney University. I'm doing a Masters of Teaching Primary at Bankstown campus. And I guess you could say I've got pretty massive goals for the future. I hope to, further empower the self-determination and prosperity and independence of all communities across our nation, but particularly for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander young peoples and families and communities. So I'm actually lucky enough to be a media officer in the Office of Pro Vice Chancellor of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Education, Strategy and Consultation at Western. So in my role, I liaise on behalf of our Pro Vice Chancellor with the marketing and communication team, but also help to ensure that our Indigenous staff and students are profiled appropriately and aim to contribute to the broader, media and public relations strategy of the whole of the uni. My career journey's only been relatively short. I graduated high school in 2016 and in 2017 I started my undergraduate degree at Western Sydney University in a Dean Scholars Bachelor of Arts Pathways to Teaching Primary, majoring in Indigenous Studies, and graduated from that recently in 2020, began my Master's degree at Bankstown campus. But I've always really been passionate about Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander education, focusing primarily on, how we find a balance between traditional cultural teachings and our traditional pedagogies, as well as the requirements in the Australian syllabus. What kind of led me to that is for years, consecutive years now, I've been travelling up to the Northern Territory with our New South Wales Treasurer, mentoring alongside Dominic Perrottet, where we've completed community service work in remote Aboriginal communities, so in Yalara and Docker River and in Mampa, in their schools and nursing homes. And that was really a grounding experience for me, and it really proved that I do want to go out and work remote and make change and ensure that all young Australians have access to quality education and are set up for the future so that they can achieve the goals and aspirations that they set for themselves. My whole journey at Western was transformative, in terms of my leadership, in terms of my academic and professional journey. I was Dean Scholar, I was part of the Academy program. I completed my Citizen Scholar Awards program. I volunteered as an ambassador in the Reading Ambassador program, where I worked with disadvantaged young people in improving their literacy skills. I have worked and been an ambassador on Pathways to Dreaming, where we help local Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students through their transitions from secondary education into tertiary or into the workforce. I've worked with Heartbeat students who are local young primary school Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students to ensure that, we're living healthy and active lifestyles. And being a member of the Respect Now Always Committee is something I'm really passionate about, ensuring, equality and inclusion of everyone, the sustainable development youth network. I've mentored at Western Sydney Uni's First Nations rural camps, where Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander kids from remote New South Wales come down to Western Sydney University, and we show them, the opportunities that we have to offer and that tertiary education is achievable. I've recently been nominated by a community member, I'm not even sure who, for the New South Wales Channel 7's News Young Achievers Awards, and particularly in the Indigenous Achievement category. On this platform, the age of 22 is an outstanding achievement. It's already opened so many doors for me. Probably my number one career highlight, which I've probably already spoken about a little bit, was my travels up to the Northern Territory into the Aboriginal communities. I feel like that's where I really found my goal and my dream of becoming an educator. Where do I start? The first thing I would say is, do not let anyone tell you that you can't. If you see an opportunity, go for it, be the leader of your own journey. Probably the second thing I would say is learn to say no occasionally. This is something that I've struggled with and learnt the hard way. I often take on a whole heap of things and it can be straining. So really find out what makes you passionate and follow along that pathway. Number 3, I'd probably say, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because they're always learning journeys. And I know I've learnt more from the mistakes that I've made than my successes, to be honest with you. Number 4, I'd say ask questions and ask for help. There is so many people out there that are willing to support you, whether it be through university journey or in your career pathways. Always don't be afraid. There is no silly questions. Number 5, I would say, don't be afraid to dream big. Think big, challenge yourself, because you got it. You can smash it.